What if a love story could tackle racism, cultural identity, and family drama all at once? Mississippi Masala does exactly that. And Denzel Washington is electric. In this review, I'm diving into why this 1991 gem still hits hard in 2025. Stick around and see if you might want to watch it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer Oakes, and in today's video, we are talking Mississippi Masala, a 1991 romance drama directed by Mira Nair. This film stars Denzel Washington and Sarita Choudhury, two people who fall in love against all odds in the Deep South. It's got heart, humor, and some seriously bold commentary. I'll break down the plot, performances, themes, and why this film still feels so relevant today. Let's dive in. Shout out to Zach for suggesting I review this film. Sorry it took me so long. Mississippi Masala follows Mina, played by Sarita Choudhury, whose Indian family was forced out of Uganda in 1972 under Idi Amin's regime. They end up in Mississippi running a small motel. Life's tough, but Mina's vibrant and she's curious. And then she meets Demetrius, a black carpet cleaner played by Denzel Washington. Sparks fly, but their romance stirs up tension between their families, their communities, and even within themselves. Without spoiling, I'll say this. The film weaves love, prejudice, displacement into a story that's both intimate and universal. It's not just a romance, it's a look at what happens when the cultures collide. What's cool is that it balances heavy themes with humor and heart. If you've ever felt caught between two worlds, this movie gets it. And I am going to have some spoilers in here, so if you really don't want any spoilers, this might be your cue to switch out my video and try to find the movie if you want to watch it on your own. So what I wasn't expecting when I started the film was to learn that there were a bunch of Indian people living in Africa. I wasn't ready for that. So let me go over a little history for you. Idi Amin's regime refers to the brutal military dictatorship of Idi Amin, who ruled Uganda from 1971 to 1979 following a coup. His government was notorious for its violence, political oppression, and economic decline. And one of the most infamous acts during his rule was the mass expulsion of Uganda's Asian, predominantly Indian, community in 1972, which is a major historical event reflected in the plot of movies like Mississippi Masala. You know, my parents are Colombian and they came to America in 1970, so I very much relate to films that deal with immigrants in America, that whole learning a new language, a new culture. I mean, as an American, you never think about leaving America, right? This is your home. Why would you want to leave, kind of thing? Although some people do leave to go to Europe or whatever, but usually most Americans stay, let's be real. So for somebody from like Africa or South America, or even Asia, anywhere where you speak a different language, to come to America, you have to have a lot of courage. You have to not care that you might face prejudice. You throw it all away because you know you're going to have a better life in America. The American dream, so to speak, which my parents are living the American dream, in my opinion. My grandma came for a better life. My dad came for a better life, and they absolutely achieved it. Praise God. So those types of things were absolutely going through my mind as I was watching this film. So if you've ever been curious about that, like what's that all about, this movie will help you kind of feel some of that heaviness. I will say, as interesting as the movie was, it does have a little bit of a heavy feel. Be prepared to be educated. It's not like what I grew up watching, like Fools Rush In with Salma Hayek and Matthew Perry kind of thing. Very lighthearted, funny romance. This has elements of humor, but it has a much more serious tone to it. Let's just put it that way. But let's talk performances. Denzel Washington as Demetrius, pure charisma. Love him. His character in the film, first of all, I don't remember really noticing Denzel Washington until I got older, like into my 20s. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of his movies. I just know that he's a really good actor. He has a great reputation. Anyway, the point is, like, I was very interested in Leonardo DiCaprio kind of thing when I was a teenager. I never paid a lot of attention to Denzel Washington. My husband is more, I think my husband's a better movie buff than I am. Like, he knows all kinds of obscure actors' names. Denzel, like, he's actually seen people's movies, whereas I kind of feel like I pigeonhole into certain kinds of movies. But anyways, whereas my husband's like more well-rounded with movies. I don't know, I like my husband's taste better than mine, but I'm not as cool as my husband when it comes to his movie knowledge. Anyway, but I'm still reviewing this. But it was really fun for me to see a younger Denzel Washington. He's kind of trim and thin. Like, I don't know why I think of him as being a buffer guy. He's younger in this movie. And so, and of course he has that leading man charisma thing going. He's charming, he's grounded, he carries every scene. But Denzel is contrasted with Sarita Choudhury, who is so beautiful. Like, I can't get over her hair. It's just so long and thick. I wish that my hair looked like that. I have it up in this bun with a funky karopi thing because I don't have her long, gorgeous hair to be able to flaunt the way she does in this film. She very much flaunts her hair, which is fine by me because I'm enjoying admiring it. Just her profile, she's stunning. You can't take your eyes off of her. To me, Indian women are some of the most beautiful in the world. I'm just saying. I really love my Bollywood films and my Indian actresses. I always admire them. But her character is very quiet and serious. She's not like this bubbly type actress that I think I'm used to seeing in more mainstream movies. This is I think it had more of an indie vibe when it first came out, because I've honestly never heard of this film until Zach mentioned it in the comments. The supporting cast, like Roshan Seth as Mina's dad, he adds a lot of depth. And you really feel the family's struggles. Like I said, if you're curious about life as an immigrant, this can give you some insight into that. The themes are where Mississippi Masala really shines because it tackles racism and colorism head on. There's this line where Mina says, "Your skin is just a couple of shades from mine." It's you're able to see the prejudice between the Indian communities and the Black communities and that whole situation. There's an explosion that goes on there. The film also tackles displacement because you see how Mina's family was expelled from Uganda and how they're struggling to fit in this new country. So the film really feels alive, you're right there in Mississippi. And the director, she did a lot on a low budget, blending all of these elements. She really captures that. Even the poverty, there's a little bit of heaviness because you're in a poor area. I feel with a lot of movies, at least for me, there's a lot of escapism because I like to watch movies with royalty. There's always some wealthy family or something, and it's the luxury. You kind of, even in some of these Bollywood films that I watch, it's always a rich family and a poor girl going to live with the rich family or whatever. I don't know, the Mexican telenovelas that I grew up with, it's always the little maid falls in love with the don of the house or whatever. It's escapism or whatever. But in this, it's all in a poor area of Mississippi, and you do feel that heaviness of that. I've got to break out of this poverty, this cycle of poverty. How do I get out small town, And then there's the chemistry between Mina and Demetrius. There's this one dance scene, and I'm not sure how I feel about it as a first meeting. To me, it's very unromantic. I didn't like how it started. I'm tempted to spoil it for you. I'll just spoil it for you. You have to change my video if you don't want to hear the spoilers. But he uses Mina initially to get another girl jealous. And so I'm just kind of I'm really turned off by that, but whatever. It doesn't deter their ultimate connection from happening, and more power to them, I guess. It's romantic, but it's grounded. You're rooting for them even though the world is against them. And I think that's what is one of the special things about the film. But I will say, again, sorry if this comes off as religious hypocrite or whatever, but there is some, this movie is rated R. You do not watch this around children. There are scenes in the bedroom kind of thing. And here's where I'm a hypocrite, because I loved Fools Rush In, and there was stuff that happened before marriage. And yet, I don't know, maybe it's because this movie like shows it and I didn't want to see it. It's like, I'd rather not know kind of thing. Anyway, I just want to warn people about that. This is not a Christian film, okay? The romance does not go according to the way the Bible says it should. That is the point I am making. And so I do not want to endorse not waiting before marriage, is the point that I am making. But at the same time, I acknowledge myself as being a religious hypocrite when I say these things. So anyways. But let's focus on the other themes of this film, because it has some good themes, I think, or things that it brings to light that are ugly in society. I think what I like about this film is that it exposes prejudice. It talks about love across divides. You know, never mind the fornication. It's love across divides. Okay, Mina comes from a very conservative Indian family, right? They have expectations of purity, kind of like the way I was talking about. So I relate to Mina's family. I understand why they're freaking out to a degree, but yet their relationship overcomes divisions as far as expectations of family and culture and all of that. And those are very interesting themes, because I guess I have a lot of respect for people or couples who can overcome those divides. This film deals with immigration debates, interracial dating. It's overcoming hardship and challenges, and love overcoming hate, and forgiveness and working out problems. And so I think that's something that can resonate with audiences. And so comment below, let me know if you've seen Mississippi Masala. Let me know if this is a movie that sounds interesting to you. I just wanted to review it because Zach had told me to watch it, and I'm not gonna lie, this isn't some happy-go-lucky like my rom-coms that I throw in. This is much more dramatic and serious. And so if you're interested in tackling these themes that I've mentioned in the video, this might be something you're interested in watching. If you've ever seen The Big Sick or Moonlight, this might be a movie that you vibe with. Please like and subscribe for more reviews. There are definitely a few movies that I want to be reviewing on this channel in the future, so subscribe to that channel, hit like, share, all that. And I hope to see you guys again very soon in my next video. Bye everyone!